How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Bill, and in today's video we are making something new for the Bronco. Now, if you have an off-road vehicle, one of the biggest pains in the butt, especially now that it's wintertime, and that's airing down and airing up your tires. Currently what I've been using to air down is I have a set of these. So normally you just screw this onto the valve stem, and it's got a little locking mechanism on it. There, a little locking nut, and that screws on. So you screw this on and it'll let air, it's got a little spring valve in here and it'll let air out. And then once there's not enough air pressure to push the valve open again, it'll stop letting air out. So if I put 20 psi in my tires and put this on, and then I could tighten it to where no more air is coming out, I know that this should shut off at 20 psi. And then I can just lock the ring and be done with it. Now, problem I've had with these is that it's not very accurate. Sometimes it'll get to 20 psi. Yeah, I'm just using 20 psi as an example here, but it'll get to 20 psi and sometimes it'll shut right off. Sometimes it'll get to like 22 psi and then slow down a bit and just let a little bit of air out. So then it'll go from gushing air like shh to just like a little bit of air escaping. And so then you gotta let it just slowly trickle out for the last couple of psi. But the problem is sometimes it'll get to 20 psi and not completely shut off. And it'll hiss like that, like it's got a couple of psi left, and you could just sit there and let it go and let it go, and then you finally check your tire, your air pressure, and you realize, oh, that's been leaking for a while. That hit 20 and it keeps going. So it never just shuts off exactly every time, each time. So I actually got online looking to see if there was a better or more accurate way to do that, and I came across company that was selling a four-way tire kit. It was like 250 bucks. And I was looking at it, I was like, that doesn't look like that would be too hard to make. And I looked and found some other videos, and sure enough, there's a lot of videos of people making these. And so I've decided I'm going to make one myself for the Bronco. Now, it's pretty simple. I've just ordered a 50-foot Flexilla hose, air hose. These hoses are awesome for just how flexible they are. And I just got a quick four-way manifold here. And so basically the idea is I'm going to be able to hook my air up to this, my air valve up to that, as well as a pressure gauge. And then I'm going to connect to all four tires. What's awesome about that is as soon as I connect all four tires, it's going to equalize the air between all four, because then we can make sure all our tires are exactly the same once we've gotten it figured out. When I ordered the Flexilla hose, I ordered a 50-foot hose, and so I just cut it down like this, two 14-foot lengths, so that's 28 feet there, 4 5-foot lengths, and then I got another 2-foot extra piece of hose so I could just make a quick connect. So here I got just these are the ends that were on the Flexilla hose already. I figure why cut these and put different ends on. I'll just go ahead and screw those in. I don't know, I might change this valve out to one that kind of tees out that way so those go forward a bit, but I'll use this a couple of times as is and see what, if anything, needs to be changed. But yeah, I just got the gauge, the two hoses that are going to go out to each side, and then just this quick ball valve to open and close, and then a quick disconnect connected on that should plug into any air hose. So it should be turned for closed, and wide open to let air out or to let air in. So the next, this is going to go to a T. From one T, it'll go to another short hose and then to one of the long hoses. Now at the end of each one of those 4 hoses is going to go valves, and it's got a small little spring-loaded clip on there, and it should clip right onto your valve stem. Everything will equalize out, and then we can see what our pressure is for all 4 tires, and then we can either open the valve to air down all 4 or hook up our compressor, open the valve, and blow air in to inflator tires. Each one of these hoses, the 2 5-foot and the 2 14-foot, are going to get inflation checked on the end. So we just got these. They got a hose barb with some Teflon tape on it. That I put the Teflon tape in the wrong direction. Now before you stick this barb into the hose, make sure you put one of these on the, I guess it doesn't matter too much since there's nothing connected on the other side of the hose, but if there was, you definitely want to make sure you put these clamps on there first. And you just get right under the edges there, squeeze, and that'll crimp that, and that shouldn't go anywhere. So do this for the other 3 hoses. Alright, so we got the 4 ends on there, 2 long, 2 short, and I've brought this first piece that I put together over. Now is where we need to use the T. So here's the first hose that's coming from by the pressure gauge, and that's just going to go into one side of the T before we put the T in there. You need a bottle of soapy water for this for 2 reasons. One, you could squirt it on these ends and help it slip in a little easier. And then the second reason you want some soapy water is once everything's put together and we have air going through the system, we want to spray some soapy water around each joint to make sure there's no leaks. Now, from this T, the one going off is going to go to the shorter one of these, and then this will go to the longer one. So this will come off, go to the front tire, and that will continue to go to the rear tire. Alright, so we can pretend this is our compressor that we took out on the road with us, and we got our Bronco sitting out here. Got a front tire, rear tire, front tire. We got the valve open. We got this set to, so it's saying we got 52.7.8 PSI equalized throughout the lines here. So I'm gonna grab my soapy water. I'm gonna okay, so right there you can see I got a small leak there, so I need to tighten that up. Everything up here looks okay. So one leak there. So I think the weak point right now is going to be these plastic tees, which I'll replace. I should be able to tighten that and then be good to go. That's all tightened up. And it looks like we're holding 53 PSI in the lines. Pretty good. I'm sure I could find a little bag to put that in or something. It's not a huge mess, but it's not beautiful, so probably something I would throw in a bag and just keep available than whenever I need to air down. So let's go over to the truck and see how it does. You see right now I got 41, 41, 41, and 37 on the tire. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead, hook up our little contraption here, and just now one thing, these are closed. You can get these as opened or closed by default, which means right now it's not connected to anything, so there's no air coming out. If you get the open ones, the air will be coming out of here no matter what. So I recommend the closed ones because they don't, otherwise you'd have to run around and get these all on as quickly as possible and off as quickly as possible, where these you can just slide on, pop off, and see that's saying they're at 42, which is pretty close to what TPMS said we were at with 41 on those two. Plop this one on, and then we can do our low one, or lower one. And I don't know if you could hear that on the camera, but I can actually hear air going into that one until all the pressures are equal. So now that's saying 41 total. Come in here. Yeah, just updated. Now they're all equal, 41 across all of them. Yeah, we're just under 41 now, which makes sense. We were the other three were probably at the high end of 41, almost 42, and now they're all just on the low end of 41 or high 30 or high 40, but they're all equalized out. You saw how quick and easy it is just to connect all four of them. Everything's controlled, everything's equalized. Now if I want to air down, all I got to do, flip the switch, let everything air down for a couple minutes. Whenever I want to see where we're at, just turn it off. So that quick, all four tires are down 4 psi. So we're air down to 12.5 for all four. So I'm curious to see how long it will take to fill up all four. Now, when I was looking at these systems, one thing that kept showing up was this Maxi Track dual air pump. It's supposedly faster than the ARB, stronger and faster than the ARB dual compressor, and it's like a third of the cost. So I don't know about the longevity. That was one thing everybody said was they're not sure about the longevity. You know, ARB does have a reputation for lasting forever. Who knows how long these will last. And I haven't seen any follow-up videos saying that they didn't last long or that they've had issues. I wanted to try that out. Set this down on the ground. Now, the compressor has a hose coming off of it. And it's got this, and it came with an additional hose that just went to a straighter valve for doing one tire at a time. So I kept the end that was on there and just put a new, regular quick universal quick connect, so this could connect to anything and not just theirs. Alright, so this is saying we're at 13. I'm going to open this. So I'm going to go from 13 to 29 on 4 36 by 13 R20s. And I'm going to go ahead and start the compressor. 0.1, 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So I don't know about you, that's a whole lot faster than I've ever been able to air up all 4 tires before, especially going around one at a time. Normally takes about that long or longer, depending on the pump you're using, to do just 1 tire. And so, like, the whole process of airing up normally took 20-30 minutes. Now it takes less than 5. I'm going to be more willing to air down all the time when it takes less than 5 minutes to air down and less than 5 minutes to air up all 4 tires. So definitely worth building that out. This pump, that little pump kicks butt. It's loud, it's heavy. You know, the ARB one's got its advantages. You know it's going to last forever. It's smaller. There's mounting solutions where you can keep it on board forever. So this probably isn't a good replacement, but this, you know, I still might do the ARB one just so I always have onboard air, and then just take this one with me when I know for a fact that I'm going off-roading. But I mean, yeah, if you know you're going off-roading, then yeah, grab that, and I've grabbed this. Go out there, take 5 minutes, air down, take 5 minutes, air back up, and be done with it. So down in the description, I'll go ahead and leave a parts list of everything that I ended up using to make this. I think it cost me around $100. I don't know, I had to do the math, add everything up together, but I think it cost me around $100 to put everything together, build it, which is significantly less than the $250 I saw when I first saw this, and like, oh, that's a cool idea. So, and took a look at it, it's like, that doesn't look too hard to make. So I'll go ahead and put the parts list down together. If you're a DIYer like me and you want to put one of these together, I said about $100, a little bit of your time, and you can have one, and it's going to save you a ton of time out on the trails to air up and air down. One thing I get asked a lot of times is like, well, will I do that for you? This is one of the things that, yeah, sure. You know, if you're not a DIYer and you want something like this, you don't want to pay $250, and you want me to do it, put one together for you, my email is always in the description, or DM me on Instagram, and I am going to charge you a little bit for my time, whatever it costs to ship, and then whatever the parts are. But it'll be more than $100, but it'll be cheaper than $250. We can figure out something. So if you're interested in having me put something like this together for you, just let me know, reach out, and we can work out something, I'm sure. But and if you don't want me to do it for you and you just want to do it for yourself, like I said, all the parts are down in the description before. Go ahead, let me know how it works out for you. I think it's awesome. Find out for sure next weekend. We're heading up to Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana. So it'll be the first time back on the trails since getting everything put back together. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.